Okay, so now we want to talk about the division rule. And let's expand this so we can see what happens with our division rule. So we know that x to the ninth means we have nine x's. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. And x to the third means I would have three of them. And what happens is we can reduce, like these will cancel each other out, these will cancel each other out, these will cancel each other out. So when we look at this, how many x's do we have left? We have x to the sixth power left. There are six of them left. So how do we go from 9 and 3 to 6? Well, 9 minus 3 equals 6. So when we divide, we end up subtracting our exponents. So let's put that in our notes. When dividing with the same bases, imagine that division bar is a giant subtraction sign. You are going to subtract them. And here is a little uh, helpful hint here. If you take the bigger exponent and subtract the smaller one, that's easier. When I take, for example, 7 minus 4, for most of you, that might be easier than saying 4 minus 7. So do 7 minus 4, and that gives you 3, but then you're always wanting to place it where the big one was. So since the 7 was on the bottom, that's why that x to the third is on the bottom here. So you're always putting it where the bigger one is. Let's take a look at a few examples. I'm just going to make one up. So let's just go x to the 11th over x to the 7th. So 11 is bigger. 11 minus 7 is 4. And 11 is on the top. So the x to the fourth is going to be on the top. And that is my answer. If I did, let's go to another one. Let's say I have y to the 8th over y to the 15th. So now we look and 15 is bigger, but it's on the bottom. So I know I'm going to have my fraction. 15 minus 8 is 7. So y to the 7th is going to be placed on the bottom because the 15 is bigger. And then I'm just going to have to put a 1 on the top. And that's my answer for division. So, if we look at some where there is more than one thing happening, let's take a look at number one. The first thing I would do is I would get rid of negatives. Negatives mean cross the line and change the sign. So, we have 2x to the third on the top, and then I have an x to the third and a y to the second, and then that y to the fourth, I want to cross the line and change the sign. So now we want to look, and the x's are being divided because one's on top and one's on the bottom. So we're going to subtract those. But uniquely, what happens, 3 minus 3 is 0. So those x's just go away. And then the y's are next to each other, which means they're being multiplied. And multiplication means you add exponents. So when we add 2 and 4, we get y to the sixth power. And then we just have a 2 on top. And that is your answer. And that's your division property.